It's estimated that 1 in 10 Pennsylvania residents has unclaimed property. I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me this hour is Pennsylvania State Representative Ron Miller. Thanks for being with us.
You're welcome.
When we hear a number like that, 1 in 10 Pennsylvanians has unclaimed property, it almost sounds too good to be true that we could have property out there that's ours that we're just sitting on and we don't even know about.
Yeah, it does. And a lot of people, because of that, when they see a notice in the newspaper or they hear about this, they don't believe it. And there is a process where they can confirm it and claim their money. And that's the important point. It's their money. After a certain amount of time, if you have an old insurance policy or an inheritance of some sort that wasn't settled properly, it gets turned over to the state. You know, the insurance company or a bank doesn't get to keep that money. And when it gets turned over to the state, it remains your money. You can claim it forever, but the state, of course, uses it during that time. But you can claim that money.
So if you can claim that money, how do you know that you can find that money legitimately? If we see this as an ad in the paper, what we think is an ad in the paper, or we see an email, how do we know that this is a legitimate piece of information?
Yeah, it's pretty simple, and I think you will show it on your screen. You can go to the Pennsylvania Treasury website, www.patreasury.org, and you can type your name in, your first name, your last name, and you can look to see if you might have unclaimed property. It's pretty easy to confirm. If a person doesn't have that ability, I would remind them that they can always go to the library and use a computer there. They're more than welcome to visit one of their state legislators' offices. The staff there will help. My staff has been able to identify in the past 6 months people that have claimed over $100,000 of unclaimed property. So we know that there's a lot of money out there that belongs to people, and in this tight economy, it'd be great if they had it.
What type of money are we talking about? You mentioned old insurance policies, but what types of money are out there in terms of unclaimed property?
Dollar values, it can range anywhere from, we've seen as low as $5 to, I think the highest one that we've identified so far is over $23,000. We found one person that knew that their grandparents had a life insurance policy on them when they were a child. They never knew what happened to it. They thought that maybe it had been term insurance, and it turns out it was turned over to the unclaimed property of the state. There was a cash value to it, and they were able to claim that money.
And that money belonged to them, and they were able to receive it from the state treasurer's office.
Absolutely, and it's pretty simple to do. You can go online, fill out the form. If it's over $100, you must notarize, have somebody notarize your claim form, and you must supply some form of ID, a copy of your driver's license. But it's nothing you send to an independent third party. It goes directly to the Treasury Department in Pennsylvania.
And that's an important point, because there are companies out there that say they can do these searches for you for a fee, but you don't have to utilize those services.
Absolutely not. You can do it yourself. As I referenced, the libraries, local libraries will help you with some searches like this, or else any of the legislative offices. We're very happy to help the constituents.
And all of those services are free. And as you mentioned, if there is the value of more than $100, that notary fee could apply. But in your office alone, you've been able to find and identify more than $100,000, but that's just in the past few months alone.
And the disc that we received from the Treasury Department was only for the unclaimed property turned in last year. So I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. People really need to take a look and make sure that they don't have property that is theirs. It belongs to them legally. And, you know, just claim it. And if nothing else, in this tight economic times, we could all use a few extra dollars.
All right, we were all dreaming of having that rich uncle. Well, maybe we can find out that we actually did. Go to patreasury.org and look for your own name there. Thanks for being with us.
Well, thank you.
We've been talking with Pennsylvania State Representative Ron Miller. I'm Jill Horner.